Hey y'all, hope everybody's doing good. This is going to be a hopefully fairly short video, short-winded. Basically, this is a 2003 350 Rancher. It was leaking oil. It's a old boss of mine's actually, and he just bought it. It was leaking oil, and it was leaking a little bit around the shift shaft, and I replaced that O-ring, or not O-ring, but it's a seal. I replaced it. And that fixed that, but it's leaking around the drain plug, so put a ratchet on it and it won't tighten, which means somebody stripped it out, you know. So I'm going to try to show you how I'm planning on repairing it. I'm going to hope this works. The drain plug threads are supposed to be 12 millimeter. I can't remember the pitch. So this is what I ended up buying. It's a self-tapping drain plug, and it's 1/2 inch, which is between a 12 and 13 millimeter. And then once you put that in there, you can choose one of these little Allen plugs that goes down inside the main plug here. I guess I should have picked this out before I started the video, but anyway, this drain plug has its own threads inside there, and so pretty much you take the small drain plug out from now on instead of taking the large drain plug out. So I'm hoping this thing will thread in there okay. It's supposed to make its own threads, so I'm hoping it'll thread in okay, and we'll just have to give it a shot. But you can see it's 1/2 by 20 thread pattern, made in China, of course. Wasn't very expensive. It came from Amazon. Anyhow, I'm going to get the old drain plug out, and we'll compare and give it a shot. So here are the two drain plugs butted together. You can see all the aluminum in that old one, and the shavings down around the bottom. It's not too, the case is stripped out there, but you can see this new one is just a little bigger. Threads look similar. I'm hoping that it will just bite and make some deeper threads. The case is not real thick right there, and that's kind of one reason I'm trying to do it this way. Everybody says a helicoil just doesn't have much room to bite. There's a few different ways you could go about this, but I couldn't find a good standard fix it seemed like everybody used. So this thing, it comes with several O-rings and copper washers, and just depends on how you want to do it. I might try to use an O-ring on it. It's got a groove for it, and I feel like it could be a little more forgiving if it's not totally straight in there. So I think that's the way I'm going to do it, but I think to make the threads, I'm going to grease it up a little bit so it'll catch some of the shavings, and I'm going to try to run it up in there until it's making its threads good. And then take it out, clean it up, maybe spray a little brake clean in the crankcase just to kind of wash it out. And then I think I'm going to put some Loctite on this thing. That way it hopefully will never spin again, and then I can just torque it in. Hopefully it'll be good. But I'm not out much for trying this, so that's what I'm going to try to do, and we'll find out if it works. So this is what we're working with. You can see that's not real thick, because you can actually see up into the bottom of the engine there. You can also see there's a machine surface, and there's a ridge around part of it. So there's no way to use a bigger drain plug, well, a drain plug with a bigger head than what this has. So you can see I've got them sitting here and they look real close. This is actually the sealing washer on the original plug, and I've just set my calipers to be the same size as it basically. And then if you come over here, I actually have just a smidgen of room. You can't hardly see the light through it, but you can see I'm able to work it just a little. Anyway, this should fit fine on that machine surface. I should be able to use an O-ring and be in good shape. So I'm gonna start trying to run it in now. All right, I got y'all the best view I could get you. I went ahead and greased this new drain plug a little bit. You should be able to see it as I stick it up through here. You see the red grease on it. Now the problem is I have to try to run it straight as I can run it. All right, it's starting there. I'm gonna get down here and look at it and see if it looks straight. All right, the problem is with telling what I'm doing is the bottom of the engine is not totally flat with the bottom of the skid plate. They're not on parallel surfaces, but I think I'm doing okay here. So I'm just gonna try to run it. I see it pulling some threads out, or cutting some new threads, which is a good thing. It's actually going pretty easy. You can see, hopefully anyway, some material coming around there. I shouldn't have moved the camera. All right, it looks to me like I've got it as straight as I can get it. So I'm just gonna run it. It feels like it's threading good. Of course, that case is aluminum and it's not super thick. I may go ahead and back it out and pull the shavings off of it. I think it's already cut all the way through the case. If it's not, it's real close. Can you see the junk on it? I'm gonna clean this off and then we'll go again. Okay, you can see the junk there. If you look inside, it's just full of junk. So I'm gonna spray this thing off, put a little more grease on it, run it in a little farther. I don't think there's any point in setting the camera back up. Y'all saw me get it started and going good. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish what I'm doing there, and then I'll kind of show you the finished product. So you might have seen it earlier, but there's a double wall inside that engine case. So basically there's the bottom sealing surface, and then there's a gap, and then there's another area that's about the same size as the drain plug is. So if I use this copper washer on this new plug, it's about identical in length. If it's any longer, it's like a millimeter. So I'm going to go ahead and use that copper washer to get my spacing correct. I was thinking about cutting a few threads off, but that's a lot more trouble. So I'm just going to put an O-ring on here, and then I'll put this copper sealing washer on top of the O-ring. And I'm pretty much ready to thread this thing in. So there's that second surface you can see up in there. I'm not sure what the significance of that is. You can also hopefully see the threads that we've cut. They look pretty good. Look like they got plenty of depth to them. And I've cleaned it out best I can. I don't see anything major in there. And I will flush it a little more once I let this thing set up in there. But I'm pretty well ready to put it back in. And I think that'll take care of it as long as I can get it torqued good. Also, before I install this, I thought I'd mention this is also 17 millimeter, same as factory. So everything kind of, works out pretty good. And then they give you the Allen wrench for these little plugs, which will go in here. And that one's got a rubber sealing washer on it, and I think you can use this one if you'd rather with the little copper washer. It's kind of nice. They give you some options there. Alright, so last steps, y'all. You can see I got the green O-ring there, and it's oiled up a little bit, and then I put a copper washer on top of it. And then I've got some green sleeve retaining compound. This is just what I had laying around. I've got red and blue, but this is supposed to really hold stuff in. So I'm going to use it because I hope this never comes out. I hope nobody ever takes it out. That'll be the thing, they'll have to remember to use the inside drain plug, not this big one. But regardless, I'm going to put a little bit of the green on here. And I've got my torque wrench set for 18 foot-pounds, which is what this is supposed to be. And we'll see if we can't torque this thing in there right now. You can hopefully kind of see there's some green on there. If you can't, you have to take my word for it. Now I've just got to get this started. It is a little tricky, even though the threads are there, to find the right angle. I think we've found it though. I'm just putting it in my hand right now. I'm going to snug it with my ratchets. Sorry the lighting is not too good. Okay, that's somewhat snug. Now I've got this set for 18 foot-pounds, just so I don't accidentally try to over-torque it by hand. Sometimes I'm good at that. Hopefully it'll hold to get to that torque. All right. Hear my torque wrench click. It's 18 foot-pounds. Looks like it's pretty straight there. I think we'll be fine with that. I don't think that'll ever come out. All right, I'm gonna let this sit for probably, 24 hours, roughly thereabouts. And once everything is set up, that green retaining compound takes a little time. Once it's set up, I'm confident it's set up good. I'll flip the machine back down on its wheels. Here's a final look at it with the actual drain plug inserted into the center. And you can see it doesn't stick down or anything. So no issues there. Looks pretty good. Now let's see if it holds oil. Alright y'all, I've been out riding this thing a while, got it hot, and it's been sitting here for at least an hour now. And it also, I rode it some earlier and let it sit for an hour, hour and a half. Haven't seen anything at all under it. It used to would leave a spot, start to leave a spot pretty quick. So I don't think we got any problems. I think everything's good to go. Like I said, I managed to torque that drain plug to, you know, factory spec, so it did tighten up. It didn't slip at all. It, you know, it felt good in there. And then I did put some green Loctite on it just to hold it in place. But anyway, if you're needing to do a similar repair, I will have the part number, or I don't know if it's got a part number. I'll have the Amazon item picture in this video. That way you can at least go search for it on Amazon and find it, or a parts store probably has or can get something real similar. So, you know, whatever suits you. But anyway, it does seem to be a good fix. Let's see if I can show you the plug. So hopefully you can see that, tell it's good and dry. And anyway, I'm gonna shut this video down. I appreciate y'all watching, and hopefully this helps somebody. See y'all.